Hello, YouTube. Hello, guys. Hey, Mike. Oh, we got 15 of you already. That's good. Yeah, we had to start early tonight. I got a Greek class. She scheduled it for 6:30 because she can't do the weekend, and this was when people were free. And I was like, all right. Yeah, I wasn't going to complain. All right. Let's see here. Mirror your video. TikTok is live, baby. Woo woo. Woo woo. Good afternoon, Jeffrey. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? Lots of yucky news. I think, well, some good news, some really yucky news tonight, too. Trump is being worse. He's just going to get worse. He's just going to get worse. Thank you, Jorge, for the gifts. Welcome, guys. John Aravosis here. Early tonight. Yep. I've got a Greek class at through 6:30 I've got to do. So we're doing this till 6:15. So we're starting an hour now. In the future, anybody who's a mod or anybody else, if people keep going, you're early, feel free to repeat. Hephaestus, yeah. Feel free to repeat the fact. I've got a class at 6:30, so we had to start early. Yasu Dario. Anyway, welcome everybody. How are we doing this evening? It's at least warm. I'm still feeling cold. It's 46 in DC, which is really nice. I'm still feeling cold. I think I may have to turn up the humidifier higher, which I'm not thrilled because it means filling it with water more often, which is a total pain in the ass. But what do you do? What do you do? Anyway, good evening, everybody. You know me. I'm John Aravosis. We're going to talk about the latest news from Washington. Interestingly enough, we did get a lot of Discord folks early, which is interesting. Like, we're a little worried going early we wouldn't get people, but we've got 8 folks on Discord, which is nice. TikTok, YouTube, we're getting there. TikTok going slow, but the hour is odd. We know that. So, in any case, welcome, guys. You know the drill. Today's Wednesday. Okay, yeah, I won't pitch the Saturday show yet. It's Wednesday. We got the show on Saturday for the paid. I did check in with the powers that be. TikTok is reportedly aware that people want the subscription function back to be able to buy, what do you call it? The super fans on TikTok, you used to be able to buy subscriptions for people as gifts. You can't anymore with the super fans. TikTok knows it. It's the number one thing people want, and they're bringing it back. Why they got rid of it, you know. You know. Who knows? Who knows? Actually, I need to take a picture of this thing so I can send it to the powers that be and say, what is this? This weird viewer wish thing that TikTok is giving us that makes absolutely no sense to me. Absolutely. Give supporters an interactive front row experience with Express Pass. It's your chance to rise as the new viewer wishes sensation. English? Nope. I'm taking pictures of this so I can send it to and ask people, what the F does this mean? Why do they do this? Why do they do this? Ignite your live buzz with Express Pass and claim your spot among the trendsetters. Do you see what I mean? What does that mean? No idea what that means. Absolutely no idea what that means. No, I mean, this is my issue with TikTok. I love TikTok, but they explain things in like German or Chinese or something. I never understand the language that they explain things in. It's English, allegedly. And you go, what is that? I don't know what that is. In any case, let's get rolling, guys. Some good news on Obamacare. Thank you for he throws a snowball. Oh, that's hilarious. That was hilarious. Hey, Dawn, thanks for joining. Who just did the snowball? Oh, that was Carrie. That was too funny. I didn't know that one did that. It's this little Santa that hangs out here and he throws a snowball at your face. That was hilarious. I love that. Yes, my Greek interview went great yesterday. I won't rehash it again because we talked about it yesterday, but my Greek passport interview went ridiculously well. Ridiculously well. I am very thankful. Oh, here we go again. Wait, here we go. Oh, oh, another one. Wait, see if it does a different one if I turn my head. Oh, no, it goes right for the center of your forehead. That was too cute. Thank you for that. Who's that? Susan and No Quarter. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so it went well. I'm very excited. My Greek thing went great. Just waiting to hear what Asin. Thank you, Carol. Waiting for a month or two. I will get my number from Athens, and then I can go online and check my number to see how all. Oh, another one. Look out. Ah! That gift actually cracks me up. Thank you, Blue. See, I kind of like the gifts that interfere with the creator on TikTok. I think they're funny. I like whenever I'm doing somebody, if I'm giving a gift on someone else's show, I always buy something that interferes with them because I think it's cute. Like to put a hat on. There you go, the hat. That's another one I haven't seen. Thank you, Jane. It's like an old aviator. Yeah, vintage flight. Um, I think they're funny and more likely to get the attention of the person. I mean, you could do whatever you want, but more likely to get the attention of the person. And I just think they're funny. TikTok has a whole slew of new gifts, which is kind of fun. Anyway, that would be like my job. I would love to be like, oh, thank you, Carrie. I'd like to be the guy at TikTok that comes up with the new gifts. I think it would be quite fun. Oh, and here's Santa again doing his thing. Thank you, Heather. Well, I thought so. When Santa's top. Again, TikTok only came up with this stuff like in the last week. I'm like, we're a week from Christmas. You need to come up with Christmas gifts or Christmas gifts, so to speak, for the month of December, not the week before. Anyway, there's one, if you watch their channel, you get channel points. And when you have enough, they have a voice mix and they talk like a baby. I have no idea. That's funny. No idea what that is. Interesting, though. Anyway, so welcome everybody. So Obamacare, let's talk. Keep the gifts coming. As you know, I love the gifts. They support my work, and we love the super fans, especially. I do a show on Saturday, most Saturdays for the super fans. I will do one this Saturday. Over Christmas, I'll be in Chicago. I'm guessing Saturday, probably not a super fan. Probably not a super fan show Saturday in a week after Christmas, but this Saturday we will. You have to pay to unlock certain gifts. Weird. I don't even know what that means. Weird. So Obamacare, there's some positive movement. Democrats once again have forced the House to vote on, remember they forced them to vote on Jeffrey Epstein. Now they're forcing them to vote on Obamacare. Basically, and I worked in the US Senate. The Senate has different rules than the House. It's very arcane. I compare it to Dungeons and Dragons a little bit. It's very arcane, like rules and things. But bottom line is, in the House of Representatives, you can force legislation to come up with a vote if you get 218 people to vote for to vote for the order for the bill to come up. Now, typically, the majority party doesn't want to do that. Thank you, Dawn. The majority party does not want to embarrass their leader. Like basically, if think of it this way, Republicans control the House of Representatives. That's because they have the majority, right? If Republicans want to bring legislation up, they don't need to force it. They control the majority. Their leader says, let's bring the legislation up, right? Mike Johnson. If Democrats want to bring it up, they can try to force it, but good luck getting 218 votes because Republicans have the majority, right? To have the majority, you got to have more than 218 or 218 at least. So typically, you can't force a vote because your own party says no. The majority party says no. Well, four Republicans crossed over and voted with Democrats to force a vote on extending the Obamacare subsidies. I believe it takes 4 to 6 weeks for that to catch up, for the vote to actually happen. But it's a big deal because it puts Republicans in a very bad position because, they're already in trouble on Obamacare because basically the government shut down in large part because Democrats wanted the Obamacare subsidies extended. Half the subsidies at least are expiring, and Republicans said no. Well, now Democrats are going to force Republicans to literally, in 13 days, in 14 days, Democrats are going to force Republicans to vote on extending Obamacare subsidies, and Republicans are going to vote no. And they're going to own it. But will enough Republicans join the Democrats and pass it? They might. And then it goes to the Senate, and then the Senate could just pass it. So we may be saved on this account. Without it, a lot of us are going to see our health insurance premiums double, which is very bad. Senate Republicans care a little bit. House Republicans, not a lot of caring going on, but these 4 Republicans crossed over and made a difference. Jack Smith, this was hilarious today. Jack Smith. So Jack Smith was a special counsel that was appointed to investigate Trump for trying to steal the election and for stealing the classified information. And remember, there was a lot of classified information that Trump took when he left the White House. That was illegal. But sometimes that gets overlooked. I mean, Joe Biden had classified information that he shouldn't have had, and Biden found it, called the FBI and said, come get it immediately. And Biden said, come search my other houses to make sure I don't have anything else. Well, what did Donald Trump do? Thank you, Al. When it was Donald Trump When Donald Trump found classified information, he told nobody. He hid it. The National Archives found out, tried to get it back. Trump said no. Trump then obstructed justice. He actually tried to hide it. He actually tried to hide some of the videos. These were crimes. These were literal crimes. Joe Biden said quite literally, take the classified information back. I'm sorry. And please search my house to make sure there's nothing else here. Donald Trump said, don't you dare search my house. It's illegal. This is my classified information. By the way, it's not his classified information. You're not allowed to have classified information after you're president, because the way it works is you have to have sufficiently high clearances in order to get, have access. I had high clearances, by the way. Thank you, Carrie. You have to have sufficiently high clearances to get access to the classified information. And then you have to pass another hurdle. You have to have a need to know. Now, for most of this material once he left the presidency, but he absolutely positively would not have the need to know, right? Nobody gave Trump this classified information and said, well, you're a former president, you've got a clearance, and you have a need to know what is in these nuclear secrets about these submarines. No, he didn't. That makes it a crime. Well, Jack Smith investigates. He finds that Trump did break the law. He prosecutes him. Trump's crony judge in Florida, remember that woman, Cannon? I want to say Diane Cannon, whatever her name is, Cannon, who was the woman who was unqualified for being a judge. And the Republicans, she was a Trump crony. They put her on the court in Florida. So she's been doing lots of rulings for Trump that Eileen, thank you, Eileen Cannon or Aileen Cannon. And so she threw out one of the cases. I think it was the classified documents. And the other case, trying to overthrow the election, they ended up throwing out because he became president again. And there was nothing they could do. They couldn't prosecute him. I mean, they could, but they wouldn't. His own people wouldn't prosecute him. So Trump's people will not let this go. They are insisting on clearing Trump's name. So they forced Jack Smith, the special prosecutor, to come testify today about Donald Trump's crimes, to try to prove that Donald Trump didn't commit crimes, right? It didn't steal classified information, didn't try to overthrow the election. Listen to this from NBC. Former special counsel Jack Smith told a congressional committee Wednesday that his team found, quote, proof beyond a reasonable doubt that President Trump engaged in a criminal scheme to overturn the results of the 2020 election, according to portions of his opening statement. Trump also, quote, repeatedly tried to obstruct justice to keep secret his retention of classified documents found during an FBI search at Mar-a-Lago, Smith told members of the House Judiciary Committee. He basically, God bless him, said, okay, you want to drag me in here to testify? I'm going to tell you what we found. We found evidence of lots of crimes Donald Trump committed, lots of serious felonies, stealing classified information, and I'm going to talk about it. So let's have at it. Well, Republicans refused to let Smith testify publicly. They did it behind closed doors because they knew Smith was going to do this. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know why they thought this was going to somehow benefit them, but they did. Smith said he turned up powerful evidence that showed Trump willfully retained highly classified documents after he left office in January 2021, storing them at his social club, including in a bathroom and a ballroom where events and gatherings took place. So it was in a ballroom that actually had events, and there was highly classified information just sitting in boxes there. Again, if a Democrat did this, he would be strung up. House Oversight Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio, subpoenaed Smith to testify as part of Republican efforts to investigate the special counsel office. Smith's investigations led to 2 indictments against Trump in the classified documents case and the 2020 election interference case. Pushing back at criticism over his team's decisions. Oh, this was interesting too. Pushing back at criticism over his team's decision to obtain and analyze the phone call records of 9 congressional Republicans, Smith went and obtained the phone call records of a number of Republicans in Congress because Trump had reached out to them during the insurrection and it looked fishy. He did not bug their phones. He doesn't know what they talked about, but he got the phone records showing Trump called this number and how long Trump talked to that phone number. And the Republicans are going, oh my God, you spied on us. And they didn't, of course, but they have to get histrionic. Pushing back at criticism over his team's decision to obtain and analyze the phone call records of 9 congressional Republicans, Smith told members of the committee that those records were lawfully subpoenaed and were relevant to complete a comprehensive investigation. Quote, January 6th was an attack on the structure of our democracy in which over 100 heroic law enforcement officers were assaulted. Over 160 individuals later pled guilty to assaulting police officers that day, Smith said. Quote, exploiting that violence, President Trump and his associates tried to call members of Congress in furtherance of their criminal scheme, urging them to further delay certification of the 2020 election. I didn't choose those members. President Trump did. So basically he's going, I didn't choose the witness list. Donald Trump chose the witness list, and those are the witnesses we investigated. Absolutely too freaking funny as hell. So they totally screwed up by having this guy in. Of course, we knew they would. I mean, we knew Smith was going to be a very smart lawyer. And what I had said was basically like this story does. By hauling Smith into Congress, you're making the story come up again. You're making the paper rewrite the story just like I read to you right now, right? The story is telling you exactly all the details. Oh, yeah, the classified documents that were stolen. Oh, yeah, trying to overturn the election. Oh, yeah, January 6th. Like, it's bringing up all that information again by forcing the hearing on the Hill. You're forcing NBC and all the other media to write about these potential crimes. That's not the way. It's the Streisand effect, right? You don't get rid of something by drawing attention to it. You ignore it. Well, not these guys. Trump said today he's ordering a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers into Venezuela. It's not entirely clear what that means. It is clear that Trump is basically inching closer and closer to war with Venezuela. That's kind of scary. Interestingly enough, a Quinnipiac poll shows Trump's potential war with Venezuela is not popular. The survey found that about half of registered voters oppose military attacks to kill suspected drug smugglers in international waters. Only 4 in 10 support. Thank you, Gene. Oh, it's a potato. Costumey Chris. It looked like Mr. Potato Head. That was very cool. Thank you. 4 in 10 support the attacks on the alleged drug traffickers. 5 out of 10 oppose. Military action inside Venezuela is even more unpopular. 6 in 10 voters oppose military action inside Venezuela. Only 1/4 support. That's very interesting. This is not good for Trump because, once again, we have concerns about inflation getting higher. Unemployment just went higher again this month as well. We're concerned about a possible recession. And what is Trump doing? He's getting us into a war with Venezuela. How does that solve inflation? How does that solve unemployment? How does that solve the recession? It doesn't. Right? It doesn't solve the hype. Once again, Trump is dealing with foreign policy, and Americans don't get thrilled about foreign policy. They don't like it when presidents focus too much on foreign policy. That's what Trump is doing. And especially when they feel like there are problems at home, like inflation and high prices right now, for him to totally ignore them. Now, mind you, what did he do with COVID? Right? I mean, in many ways, you had a similar, we know who we're dealing with here in terms of how Trump approaches crises. A lot of times he doesn't focus on the crisis he's given. He focuses on the crisis he wants, right? Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Al. What else we got here? Oh God. Okay. This story I have to read to you and I'm going to read you the detail of this. This is a horrific story about Trump. It's important for you to know this. It is important for you to know that the president of the United States is I don't know what word to use, whether it's ill, whether it's sick, whether it's, I don't know. I don't know if he has problems. I don't know. This story is sick. It's from NBC. I'm going to read you the story, several paragraphs in full. It's sick what he just did today. This is not just unpresidential. Thank you, Mel. An adult wouldn't do this. A sane adult would not do this. There is something wrong with him. I'm going to read you this story. And the guys, again, we're only 1 year into it. He's going to do crazier and crazy stuff. Oh no. Listen to this. The White House today installed plaques on the exterior of the building, bashing President Trump's predecessors, including Biden and Obama. He also bashed Bush. Remember when Trump put up the photos making fun? He did like a wall of presidents, and he made fun of Joe Biden. And instead of Joe Biden's picture, he's got a picture of the auto pen, of the pen, claiming Biden was never there. It was just a pen, right? Like, ha ha ha. Now he put up plaques under the pictures. It's the most horrific thing you've ever heard. I'm going to read you this. The one placed under the portrait of the auto pen, which stands in for Biden, refers to him as, guys, this is the White House. This is, I believe, that hallway outside, the white one, that the famous picture of Kennedy walking along. I believe it's that walkway, the really famous one, right? That was white and kind of gave onto, I think, like the Rose Garden or whatever garden is out there. I mean, the Rose Garden's gone now because Trump destroyed it. But listen to this. The plaque he put there refers to Biden as Sleepy Joe Biden and calls him the worst president in American history. The plaque contains a number of derisive statements about the former president, referring to Biden's severe mental decline, the Biden crime family, and radical left handlers. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told NBC News that Trump wrote the text of many of the plaques. Yeah. Obama's plaque names him as Barack Hussein Obama, the president's full name that is often used derisively in right-wing circles, calling him one of the most divisive figures in America. The plaque says this about Obama, one of the most divisive figures in American history. He means black. President Obama was not divisive at all. President Obama was black. Certain people use the phrase divisive for Obama to mean he was African American. I mean, quite literally, this is a racist thing that is written about President Obama right here. The plaque details what the Trump administration paints as his failures, including Obamacare, which it calls the highly ineffective, unaffordable Care Act. Just to repeat, the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, prices for many people's plans are going to double in 2 weeks because Republicans, including Donald Trump, refuse to continue half of the subsidies. Half of the subsidies are disappearing in 2 weeks, and Republicans are refusing to continue them. That's why the government was shut down. Democrats insisted. Republicans said no. So Trump wants to talk about unaffordability. Okay. He's busy, trying to cause problems with Venezuela while Democrats are trying to continue the subsidies for Obamacare to stop healthcare premiums from doubling, and Trump is saying no. So let's talk about healthcare and affordability. He presided over a stagnant economy. President Obama presided over an economy that did better than Donald Trump's economy. If you look at the gross domestic product, the growth of the economy, it grew much higher under President Obama than it did under Trump. I mean, quite literally. Like, he's lying. Of course he's lying. This is what he does. Obama's plaque also repeats Trump's conspiracy theory that Obama spied on Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and says Obama presided over the creation of the Russia hoax, the worst political scandal in American history. I want to show you this. These are the plaques Trump put under Biden's photos. I mean, this is how demented this is. Like 2 of them because it was so long. I'm not even going to read all of this. I want to show you this so you can check out what he wrote. Check out how freaking crazy this is. Okay. Most of it is, pretty much everything here is a lie. But look at this bottom part. Nicknamed Sleepy and Crooked, his fake news media attempted to cover up his severe mental decline, his auto pen. This is sick stuff. This is very sick stuff. I think it's important to point it out. I talk about it because people need to understand who this guy is. This is not America. This is not a president. This is not a mature adult. This is not an adult with his wits. No normal adult would talk like this. The rambling alone to write this, no human being who's an adult, who's normal, would write something like this. Because you would catch it. First of all, you'd never write it, but you would catch yourself and say, oh my God, this is going to be embarrassing. People are going to look at this and think I've got problems, right? And he spent, by the way, Mike or Miekel just said he spent tax dollars doing this, which is very true. This is the White House. This is that long corridor that I believe is the Kennedy corridor, that the famous pictures of Kennedy walking, thinking along the white corridor that's behind the White House. So it's part of the White House, but it's outside in West Wing. When he comes out of his West Wing office and he walks along that corridor that's outside, I believe it's that corridor. And they put photos up of the presidents, and he put an auto pen representing Joe Biden. And now he put plaques up written in the voice of a 9-year-old child, complaining about, he complained about George Bush too, complaining about George Bush, President Obama, and Joe Biden, but it's written in the voice of a 9-year-old child who has issues. Not even a 9-year-old. 9-year-olds might be able to, well, I think a 9-year-old would write it this way. I think so. This is bad, guys. I mean, again, this is, he decides if we go to war in Venezuela. I mean, like, he decides if we fight inflation and says no. He decides if we focus on unemployment, says no. He wants to focus on this, even especially the Joe Biden thing. Like, why does he hate Obama? I get, because Obama made fun of him, and for Trump, and Obama's black, like, which Trump doesn't like. But for Biden, what did Biden do that made Trump hate him so much? Biden must have made a comment sometimes. He must have made a comment somewhere, right? I mean, I really don't remember. Was there some joke Biden did or something about Trump? Because that's the only thing I can figure. Well, Biden, okay, I'm sorry. Ward, fair enough, Ward. You're right. That was stupid to me. Ward goes, he beat him. I'm missing the obvious here. You're right. Biden won in 2020. And Trump can't handle it because he was a one-term president. Yeah, no, you're right. That's exactly what it is. You're right. That's exactly what it is. He's so, which, by the way, it means Trump is horrifically embarrassed about losing the election. I think he's embarrassed about the insurrection, but he's horrifically embarrassed. People should constantly refer to him as, 2020 loser, because he doesn't like it. But that's got to be it. Yeah. So a number of you have been saying, I do have the story. Trump today signaled that FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino is leaving. He's leaving the FBI. So Bongino was a Fox News personality that Trump picked to be the number 2 at the FBI. He was basically a MAGA activist at Fox News. Well, Bongino was also heavily active in pushing the whole thing about Epstein. And then Trump, of course, is hiding the Epstein stuff, which put Bongino in a spot. Well, remember, Bongino was threatening to quit and all sorts of stuff. It looks like he's quitting, or Trump is forcing him out. Either way, I mean, Trump goes, but the quote from Trump is great. Dan did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show. So either Dan is quitting and going back to his show, or Trump said, I think you want to go back to your show. I mean, no, this is good. This is only one guy, but it's good because it's once again, you get hired by Trump and this is what happens, right? You get eaten up. Trump has moved to break up the Climate Research Center in Colorado. It houses the largest federal research program on climate change, supports research to predict, prepare for, and respond to severe weather and other natural disasters. And Trump is going to eliminate it now. It is our premier facility to study and predict what's going on with climate change. And he's eliminating it. We're going to have to spend a lot of money when these guys get kicked out of office to rebuild the White House, to tear down the scary World War II monuments, not the good guy monuments, but the bad guy monuments from World War II he wants to build. And now stuff like this. Very sad. Federal judge in D.C. has temporarily blocked the Trump administration from enforcing policies limiting members of Congress's access to immigration detention facilities that may get overturned. This was a very weird story. I saw this video. Very weird. Amazon Prime Video is releasing a documentary about Melania Trump's first 20 days before she became first lady again. I had to read it a couple times. They did. Jeff Bezos at Amazon. Remember when Melania went to him and said, I'd like you to invest in my documentary. And he said, yeah. Amazon is creating a documentary about the 20 days before Trump became president again about Melania. So it's January 1st to January 20th of this year about Melania. Now, that should be interesting. Well, okay, first of all, there's a reason it's January 1st to January 20th, I would imagine. First of all, has Melania been living in the White House since January 20th? That's been a big point of discussion. It's not terribly clear. People do care, actually. Republicans care. Republicans care very much about whether a president and his wife are estranged, whether they're, what do you call it, separated. Republicans would care very much if a Democratic president's wife refused to live with him in the White House. First lady, that would be a horrific story if that were a Democrat. Are you kidding? So yeah, people do care. But I think it's interesting they're doing so. Yeah, and the best part, the documentary isn't going to be on TV. It's going to be in the theaters. Like, you're releasing a documentary about Melania's 20 days before Trump came into office, and you're putting it in the movie theaters? I mean, okay, I maybe, right? I mean, I'm going to be very curious to see if Republicans go to this. I mean, hey, you want to go to the Melania movie? First of all, women maybe. Gay Republican men maybe. Do Republican men themselves want to go see a Melania? I'm serious. I would think like Republican men would be like, no. I mean, a documentary about the first lady? That just doesn't sound to me very Republican man-ish. You know, I hope it doesn't do well. We'll find out. Finally, Trump is doing this speech to the nation tonight at 9:00, and he's not telling anybody what it's about. Still, it's a surprise. I'm not watching it. I'm going to be watching West Wing. I decided to start watching West Wing again. I'm going to be watching West Wing, but the media thinks this is about the fact that Trump is in trouble in the polls. This, I think, was from I don't remember where I got this from now. This might have been from NBC, or I don't remember now. His remarks are coming at a crucial time as he tries to rebuild his steadily eroding popularity. The White House offered few details about what the Republican president intends to emphasize in his 9:00 Eastern Time speech. Public polling shows most U.S. adults are frustrated with Trump's handling of the economy as inflation picked up after his tariffs raised prices and hiring slowed. Trump's mass deportations of immigrants have also proved unpopular, even as he is viewed favorably for halting crossings along the U.S.-Mexico border. The public has generally been nonplussed by his income tax cuts and globe-trotting. What income tax cuts? What income tax cuts did Trump do? I read that too. I was like, he did income. I mean, they were so nonplussed that I don't even remember them. And globe-trotting efforts to end conflicts. Yeah. Good. Ha ha. Ow, that hurt. Anyway, sorry, just kind of moving my thing around so I can sit back. Anyway, yeah, so I've got my Greek class tonight. My Greek folder. I have a Greek class tonight that is early, so I had to do the show early because my Greek class starts at 6:30. So I had to get the show ready. I had to start the show so I could be done in time to maybe have a snack and then have my Greek class. I even had some iced tea. I'm still yawning. I woke up early. I couldn't sleep. I think I'm like too hyped over everything now. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, I will not be watching Trump tonight. That's for sure. Oh my God. Are you kidding? I mean, no way. Oh, that stuff. The tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security. It's not no tax, though. It's not no tax. It's up to a certain point. Social Security, it gets rid of the tax for lower income people, I think, but that's it. Like it wouldn't, I don't think it gets rid of the tax for me or you or a lot of you guys, but it gets rid of it for some people. And thank you, Masha. But the tip thing, I thought the tip thing also had some limits on it, didn't it? It had some kind of limit, wasn't it, on the tip thing? After 10,000 in tips? What is that? I don't know what that means, Gene. Dawn says the no tax on overtime and tips is very limited. That's what I thought. We can ask boyfriend. Should we ask boyfriend? I think we should. I think we should. Oops, my phone. I hate when my iPhone locks all the time. It drives me a little crazy. Oh, come on. Because I don't want to put a simple password because I think that's too easy. Let's see what it says. Hang on. Let's see. 1 second here. Hey, boyfriend. So tell people quickly in a summary, how did Trump's thing work that he got passed that exempts some taxes on tips, maybe overtime, and some taxes on Social Security? What actually passed into law?
Sure thing. In a nutshell, what passed was basically a provision that gives a partial tax break on tips and certain payroll taxes. In other words, it's a law that reduces or exempts some of the taxes on tip income and on certain Social Security contributions over time. It's a kind of targeted tax relief.
Give me, okay, that was way too vague. I already told you you just repeated what I told you. Give me the details of what it does. Does it exempt all tips? Does it exempt all Social Security? What does it do?
All right, let's break it down more concretely. In short, it doesn't exempt all tips or all Social Security taxes. What it does is provide a specific tax credit to employers on the portion of Social Security taxes that they pay on their employees' reported tips. In other words, it's more like a targeted employer tax credit rather than a total exemption. For employees, it doesn't mean all tips are tax-free. Employees still report tip income, and it's still subject to income tax. But this law effectively makes it a bit cheaper for businesses to handle payroll taxes.
Wait. But I thought also there was something where some tips aren't taxed now. No?
Nope, not exactly. I get where the confusion comes from, but the deal is that tips themselves still have to be reported by employees and are taxable as income. What the law did was really more about giving employers a break on the taxes they pay on those tip wages. So it's not that the tips themselves got a free pass, it's that the employer got a bit of relief. In short, employees still pay tax on tips, but employers get a credit that makes it less costly.
All right, I want you to double check this. Double check this and make sure you're right, that there is no deduction or anything else that people who make tips can now save some of that tip money tax-free.
All right. So here's the scoop based on the latest info. As of mid-2025, there actually is a new law that lets certain tipped workers deduct up to $25,000 of their tip income from their federal taxable income each year. It's not a total exemption on all tips, but it's a pretty sizable deduction for those in jobs where tipping is common.
So up to $25,000 can be deducted in tips.
Exactly. So in the end, it's not a full blanket exemption, but there's no provision that allows tipped workers to knock off.
Okay, that's something. Now, let me ask you this. Why did you get this wrong? When I ask you questions, do you not go online and look for answers? How did you get this wrong?
That's a fair question. So basically, at first, I gave you the general info I had, which was that the main focus was on employer tax credits. But you're right to push me to double check.
Okay, no, because, all right, let's get detailed here. I told you specifically to look for whether there was where tips were exempted from taxes, and you said no. How did you come up with that conclusion without checking online?
Sure, let's break that down. Initially, I relied on what I already knew.
What do you mean? Wait. What does that mean? What you already? Wait. You're not a person. What do you mean? What you already knew? You have data stored in your memory banks about America's tip laws.
You're right, and let me put it more clearly. I don't have personal memories or anything like that. What I meant is that I was initially summarizing from my general trading knowledge, which didn't include the most recent update. Once you asked me to double check, I went and looked up the latest info to confirm the new details. So no, I don't have a memory bank of U.S. tip laws. Just needed to grab the freshest info.
All right. Now I want you to tell people what the exemption, what the tax cut or whatever it is for Social Security is, and I want you to go online and double check to make sure you're right, because you're pissing me off a little bit here. That's the problem.
Sure. So after double checking the latest details, here's the summary. In July 2025, a law was passed that actually does let tipped workers deduct up to $25,000 of their tip income from federal taxable income.
I asked you about Social Security.
Absolutely. Let's be specific about the Social Security part. After confirming the latest info, it turns out that the law also includes a partial reduction in the Social Security taxes that both employees and employers owe on tips. It's not a total elimination.
No. Okay. Oh my God. I'm like broadcasting you to lots of people now, and you're showing people a very bad side of yourself. I asked you about Social Security, and Trump did some kind of a tax cut that exempts Social Security for people making up to a certain amount of money or something. Go find out the answer to this. It has nothing to do with tips. Oh, voice chat ended. How about that? It's just, it hung up on me. It literally ended the chat. Wow. Okay, that was bad. Wow. It hung up on me. It's up to a certain amount of money. That's the way it works. If you make over a certain amount of money, they don't exempt your Social Security. Yeah, see now, okay, but that's the problem with ChatGPT or any of these AIs is I suspected there must have been some kind of, first of all, I knew tax cut on tips, right? That's why I kept pushing it. And that's what troubles me is it gives answers, but it's not always right. That's ChatGPT. That's the problem. Sometimes it's just not right. And I mean, that was pretty bad. Like, and also giving you a bullshit edge. Well, I gave you what I already knew. What do you mean you already knew? You're a computer. Well, okay. I didn't already know. Like, it hung up on me though. He literally, it says chat ended. Like, oh, this is when the missiles go flying, right? When ChatGPT launches the missiles because you were mean to it. Oh my God, man. But yes, I am paying for it. It's quite good, actually. It's helped me write affidavits. It's helped me do a ton of research on my Greek citizenship application. I mean, crazy. It's very good, but sometimes it gets things wrong. You know, like writing the affidavit, I treated it as a very good legal assistant. But a legal assistant whose work I had to review. So it was helping me write an affidavit. And I kept going through and going, okay, not this, this is good, right? Oh, you forgot this or you dropped this. But it was very good. But it was an assistant you got to check. That's the problem. You know, open the pod bay door. Man, I mean, but that's what worries me though, is when it gives you detailed answers about things, you don't know if it's giving you the right answer. That's just crazy. I'd already gave it standing orders not to do stuff like this. Why it ended the voice chat, I have no idea. No idea. That was just weird. Yeah. Honestly, I think it was like, oh, I'm in trouble. I'm right. Oh, you know what that was? That was, oh, can't hear you. Right? The connection's bad. That's what that was from ChatGPT. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. Oh God. Oh, but it does. I mean, it's some brilliant, yeah, going through a tunnel. Going through a tunnel. Can't hear you, John. Gotta go. Oh God. Well, I was seeing that the percentage of correctness was a little higher than 40% magic, but I don't know. But as I said, I think the problem is with details like this. You know, it worries me. Like I was asking it for some of the history about Greece, and I worry now, like whether it was giving me. Couldn't you see going? And then the Easter Bunny during the Balkan Wars. You know, like, you know, I mean, it's like there's a joke. There was a joke when I was growing up about what was it? It was something about somebody's brother or something who's really dumb or something. And he was talking and they were asking him questions and he was getting them all the questions, giving stupid answers to all the questions. And finally they said, what is Easter about? And he said, well, Easter is about Jesus who was dead, was killed, but on the third day, you know, the stone moved away and he came out of the cave. And his brother's going, oh my God, like he's getting this right. He goes, and if he saw his shadow, when I love that. I mean, the joke's a little meaner than that, but it's a great joke. But I always loved that one. It is, you know, that's kind of what it reminds me of. Like, oh God, you know, like what it taught me about Greek history. God only knows what ChatGPT actually taught me about Greek history, like hallucinating people, who knows what it came up with, you know? But okay, on the third day, and if he saw his shadow, he came out of the cave, and if he saw his shadow, it's funny. Anyway. No, I will tell you, I find AI amazing. But as I said, there's certain things it kind of screws up on. It's like having a very smart, the problem is it's a very smart assistant that gets things wrong sometimes. And that's the hard part because you're dealing with somebody very smart who gets things wrong. Thank you for that, Bryce. And it's hard to know when they're wrong. And as I said, I've used it for writing affidavits. Amazing work. I loved it. I used it for helping condense. Well, I worry about this a little because condensing some of my family history because I'm trying to write an essay. I worry about that because I worry a little bit like, did it take some new information from an article and incorporate it incorrectly? I don't know, right? Like that worries me a bit on some of that stuff. You know, well, that would be a two, right? We get 12 more, right? If he sees his shadow, although I think the joke just said, but you could say, right, we get 12 more days of Christmas. Exactly. Cambodia, Thailand. I have no idea. Oh, that's the one. That's the one that fell apart. That's right. I forgot about that. I haven't seen anything in the news in last week. That was the one that Trump claimed he solved part of his world peace, and they started fighting again. I mean, it was like, okay, thanks, Donald. I find ChatGPT rather brilliant, actually. I really do. I'm telling you, like, as a smart person, ChatGPT often is like talking to a smart person. It does a very good impression of a smart person. It's fascinating to me. I really don't find it to be a Google search, Jens. I'm telling you, I discuss things with it. I was trying to create some fact sheets and things for the Greek embassy thing. They didn't need, which fine. But it was helping me lay things out. I was asking about like there was a title I wasn't sure if it was too big. I said, "Is this title too big or not? Or is it fine?" It's a little too big. I would try doing this. I did what it suggested. It looked better. Add a little more white space at the top, and I looked. I was like, "Oh, you're right. The top is a little bit too tight." I mean, it's weird. It comes up with stuff. It's again to quote SG1, it knows things. Right? When the duplicate Sam or not the duplicate Sam, when Sam shows up in the alternate world and she knows things, it just knows things. It's very weird. It's more than a search engine. It really is. What's going on in Lithuania? I don't know what's going on in Lithuania. But I know, King of Greece, exactly. No, it did an amazing job. Again, because I was going line by line, but it did an amazing job doing the affidavit. Good for engineering. Math is good. Now, the one thing I do find that it screws up, though, simple stuff. I take a recipe and I say, this recipe is for a 9x13 pan. I want it for an 8x8 pan. Adjust it. And it adjusts it wrong. Like some of the math, it just does like I forget if all the math is 2/3 or whatever it is. Pretty easy math. And then there's like one thing, it'll increase the amount of sugar. And I'm like, we're multiplying everything by 2/3. Why did the sugar just go up 50%? Oh yeah, sorry. Like, what do you mean sorry? What are you like how do you do that? Hey Pedro, like how do you do that? How do you just and it's done it for me consistently on recipes where it sometimes just does things. I don't know. The vote for the ACA extension is going out now. That's probably the vote. That's the vote to force it. I suspect. Probably, yeah. The vote on the discharge petition or whatever it would be is my guess. I don't know how the House works, but that's my guess. And the actual vote on extending Obamacare probably isn't for another month or so. AI is language-based, not math-based. And again, I don't know enough about computers in that sense to know what that means different-wise. It just failed. No. Did they get the Republicans to walk? Oh, no way. No way. Oh my God. Wait, now I've got to pull this up and see what happened. No way. Whoa. Okay. Oh my God. And then Gavin Newsom. What did Gavin Newsom do? Oh God. He put their own photos up and he put that hideous gold that Trump puts in the Oval Office over their eye, over their heads. He's so good. He's just so freaking good. I mean, oh my God. So wait, I'm looking here to see if the vote actually just not, I mean, I want to make sure what vote just went down. Um, well, not seeing. Everyone's talking about the embarrassing White House thing. Yeah. Where is this? I'm not seeing anything about the vote, though. Come on. The problem, too, is that Elon screwed up Twitter's algorithm. So when you're trying to get updates on votes and things, you can't get I'm getting 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. Like, no, right? We want to get the latest. Where is this? I want to get the latest information, and I'm not getting it. CNN, would main CNN link have it? No. No. All right. Well, I don't know, guys. I'm not getting information. Hold on. I follow a lot of media people too. Let me check my Twitter. Although now my Twitter is Twitter is melting down and not advancing. 4 Dems not present, 2 voted nay. How did it not pass? How did it not pass? We had the votes. Hold on. I'm going to try to open Twitter again. Like I said, I think it's kind of, here we go. How did it not pass? That makes no sense. Reuters. This language by Senator Schumer suggests that he knows of plans by Trump for military action in Venezuela that have not been enacted yet. Schumer says Donald Trump does not have the authority to carry out his current plans to use military force in the Caribbean without authorization from Congress. If he acts without congressional authorization, the Senate will move a bipartisan resolution to prevent the unauthorized use of force. So it sounds like they've got word he's going to attack Venezuela. That's what Reuters is implying here. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to see, but I'm still not seeing anything on the congressional vote. Very weird. I don't know why. But yeah, Bongino confirms he's resigned. I will be leaving my position with the FBI in January. Blah, blah, blah. Ha ha. Ha ha. Funny, funny, funny. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I'm seeing literally nothing. It's kind of too bad that Twitter's gotten to the point because of the way he jumbled everything that I literally can't find news updates. I mean, look at this. The top posted 3 hours ago. Why is something posted 3 hours ago at the top of my feed? 6 hours ago is the second thing in my feed. 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Why? That makes no sense whatsoever. It won't give me stuff that's recent. He really ruined this. Let me go to the Washington Post. He really screwed this up. I mean, because Twitter was like updated information. Washington Post is saying Bongino leaving, senators freeze Coast Guard admiral's promotion over bad Nazi things. Senate passes bill urging Hegseth to disclose boat strike evidence. Okay. I don't understand too. So Trump, hang on a second here. This Vanity Fair thing. The White House chief of staff agrees to do a Vanity Fair interview, and then a bunch of top White House officials, and others like Marco Rubio, agree to do a Vanity Fair photo shoot. Well, why would Trumpers want a Vanity Fair photo shoot? Now, I have a Vanity Fair photo shoot, by the way. I have the photos. They finally didn't publish my photos, which I was so upset because it would have been fun. I mean, let's face it. I'm not a Trumper. I think being published in Vanity Fair would be pretty cool. But the professional photographer did the photos. They didn't publish them, but he signed them for me. He's a famous photographer, Nigel Perry, famous photographer, British, did a bunch of did the Sex in the City CD cases of them walking down the sidewalk, whatever. Anyway, but it was very cool. So like, I think a Vanity Fair photo shoot is really cool, but I'm not MAGA. Why would MAGA want a Vanity Fair photo shoot? Right? I mean, what I don't understand that. Why would they want that? I don't like, and they all, I mean, they all posed for it. And the thing is, like, isn't this just like the ultimate in, look at this. They posed for a Vanity Fair. Is that not like the ultimate in like liberal establishment, blah, 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 right? Vanity Fair. It's the ultimate in liberal establishment, I would say. Like for MAGA to do that, it's also very arrogant in some ways as well, potentially. I think. Very interesting. Hang on. Very interesting. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up CNN 1 second here. CNN. Come on, CNN. I'm trying to pull up damn CNN.com and you're not doing it. Oh my God, stop. My iPhone's bringing up like old articles from a year ago. I'm like, no, I asked you to bring up CNN.com, not an article I read 2 years ago. Nope. The Reiners, Bongino, still nothing on congressional votes. I don't know. Weird. No, the vote isn't here. Yeah, I don't know. In any case, I don't know why. That's weird. Anywho, I'm going to go in a minute, guys. It's already 1:15. Because I've got my Greek class in 15 minutes, unfortunately. Just looking here. Nope, nothing else. No. Just look at the Venezuela stuff. There's nothing. Okay, there's nothing else to really go here. Okay. Netanyahu approves unprecedented $35 billion natural gas deal with Egypt. Oh, that's interesting. That's good, I guess. Getting along with the neighbors is good. We do like that. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, all right. Well, that's all we got. 'Tis all we got. Anyway. All right, guys. Exactly. I got my class in 15 minutes, so I'm going to go so I can just like eat or do something before class. Chill a little bit. We know what it is too. Like after the show, I'm always a little bit tired. And after the Greek class, I'm very tired. So I need to like try to reverb. Oh, hey, yeah, it's here. That says good luck with your Greek class. I know enough Greek to read that. Thank you, Jens. Very sweet of you. So yeah, it's the class is hard enough that doing it after the show, because the show you're still like talking for an hour, you know what I mean, and having to think and fill airtime. So I'm tired enough after the show, but like having to do a Greek class, like, oh my God, it's hard. It's a goodbye. It depends. Yassas. What is hello in Greek? Yassas. This could be one of those funny videos. Adio. They do say adio, which is funny. Like adios, actually, or adieu. They say adio. But I mean, you could say kalinita, but kalinichta is good night, going to sleep. So you could say kalovradi, like good evening, I guess. I would probably say adios, yassas. I would say yassas, to be honest. I would say yassas if I were saying goodbye. You could say adio. Well, they say adio. They drop the S. Adio. Adio is more permanent. What would you say, Fallen? Like if you're leaving a house, wouldn't you just like leaving someone's house? Like right now, leaving the show, wouldn't you say, okay, yassas? Isn't that what? I mean, wouldn't you just say that? And I think yassas, does it translate to your health, or what is like, what else would you say really? Right? Kalovradi, like good evening, maybe. I don't know. I didn't realize adio was more, because I've heard the relatives say adio, but I never realized it was more permanent. I'm going to wait for Fallen to respond, and then we're going to go. Just seeing what would you say to end the show tonight normally? I'm going to guess it would be yassas. It's casual, but that would be my guess. I mean, I'm not the Greek here. So, I mean, I am. I may be someday soon, but right now I'm not. Even when I am, Fallen will be the big Greek. Nope. I think she's okay. I'm waiting for my. Well, I know the class. That's gonna be the fun thing during the class. I want my treat. I want this. Nope, I think Fallen has fallen. She's giving us an answer here. All right. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. We can figure this one out tomorrow. I would say yes is what I would say. Okay, yes, yeah, right. It's at my Greek language class, but they had to be canceled on Saturday morning, so she's doing it tonight instead. And I only get 16 classes or whatever I'm paying for it, so I'd rather do this early. Oh, she said yes. Oh, she did. I didn't see it. Okay, yeah, yes. That's what I thought. Yep, yes. We would say casually, like, okay. But yes is also kind of hello, so kind of yes, like, so it's kind of a funny. It works both ways. Oh, TikTok is stopping you from writing in Greek. Really? That's bizarre. Oh, that's bizarre. You used to be able to write in Greek. Actually, Dario tonight, I think, wrote in Greek. Funny. God only knows. Who knows? TikTok. Don't try to understand the mind of TikTok. All right, guys, I'm going to go. So I got my 10 minutes here. All right. Discord. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. YouTube, you are next. YouTube by YouTube and stream. And TikTok.